Hello, everyone, and I apologize if my voice seems a little bit, make sure y'all can hear me, if my voice seems a little bit sore because it is, but I didn't want to reschedule because school starts next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, and I want to make sure you guys are all prepared. So please ask me any questions. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I am a real estate agent in Douglas County, but I'm also a former teacher. So I taught for 14 years in high school. So high school, I taught all business education courses and computer science courses. And I learned a lot there. I taught at South Paulding High School, close to us. I taught at South Paulding High School, Hillgrove High School, which is in Cobb. South Paulding is in Paulding County. And I also taught at McNair High School. So I've taught on every level. So if you're thinking about highly rated schools, I've taught at highly rated schools. South Paulding is an average school. Hillgrove is a above average school. And McNair High School in DeKalb was a below average school. So I've taught at every level, and I know we have every level in Douglas County. So it's really a good opportunity for you to kind of pick my brain. And I'm going to share some hacks that I use because my children go to all Douglas County schools. I have a child in elementary and also have a child that is entering middle school this year. So I'm really excited. So I feel like I have every level covered. I have elementary covered, middle school covered, and now I have, and just because of my experience, high school. So let's get right into it. I'm going to start with I'm going to start off with just one thing. So everybody's aware. In Douglas County, we have 20 elementary schools. We have 8 middle schools, and we have 5 high schools. And in no way do I work for Douglas County or anything like that. I'm just a parent, just like you. So those are the schools we have. Our times this school year are elementary 7:40 to 2:25, middle school 9 a.m. to 4:10, and then high school from 8:20 to 3:25. So that's what we're going with as far as times. And if you have any questions, please definitely put it in the comments. I'll answer questions as they come up. But I'll go through the hacks, and if I see a question come up, I will prioritize that. So my first hack is for you to print out the school calendar. So Douglas County is a unique calendar. So when I taught at our neighboring counties, Cobb County and Paulding County, Douglas County's calendar was always a little bit different than Cobb and Paulding. So if you you work in those school systems, or you think a lot of your friends may go to those school systems, and you're thinking, oh, we have the same fall break, we have the same this, we have the same that. You may not. You need to go ahead and download that calendar, and I have it here. I'm going to put it up on the screen. It looks like this. It's probably not very large, but you need to download this calendar. You need to print it out. They will give you one at the first day of school, but I like having my own printed out, and then I would merge those important dates, like the days that there are teacher planning and those sorts of things. Merge that with my calendar so that I'm not missing anything. So you definitely need to print out the school calendar. It's already on I will put a link to it in this video, but it's already on the Douglas County website. You'll probably get one, during open house as well. An open house is Monday for all like elementary, and they call it sneak a peek or open house, but you get to learn who your teachers are and that sort of thing on Monday. I went ahead at my daughter's elementary school. They already had the packet available, so you could start filling out all that paperwork. So that's a little bonus hack. If you can get the paperwork that you have to fill out in that first week of school, if you can go ahead and get that early, you can get, especially if you have a lot of children, you can start filling all those forms out ahead of time. So those are available at most of the schools right now. All right, so that's my number one hack. And again, thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments. All right, let's go to our next thing. And I have a few links in the comments already because I'm going to get into it, but school scores were released on July 22nd. So I'm going to show you where that is toward the end. All right, so early drop off. So this is number 2 hack. So I showed you when school starts. You should also know for either elementary, middle school, high school, what is the earliest you can drop off your child? Because we all know, especially if you don't work from home, you work in Atlanta, you have to go into the city, you have to travel. you need to know what's the earliest you could drop off. And in some of the elementary schools, you can drop off as early as 7 o'clock. So that's, a good thing to know is like, what's the earliest you can drop off your child? More than likely, at a lot of the schools, they hold them in the cafeteria. They could eat breakfast or they could study or that sort of thing. Maybe in the high schools, the media center, that sort of thing. But you want to know what's the earliest you can drop them off. So that's something when you go to open house and when you go to sneak a peek on Monday that you want to ask, what's the earliest you can drop them off? Because you may need to drop them off earlier than when school actually starts. And some people drop their child off significantly earlier than when school starts. Hack number 3, put school phone number in phone contacts. So this is very important. Douglas County and a lot of the school systems, they text now, they will call and leave voicemails. But if you are not familiar with that number, you may ignore it, you may delete it, you may not pick it up. So usually I have a few things saved in my contacts. The first thing I have saved in my contacts is Douglas County Schools. So sometimes they're just sending general messages. And, I want to be aware of that it might not be urgent. It might just be a general Douglas County message. But then I have my children's school. So if the school is calling me specifically, then I want to have that pop up so I'm more aware of it. Okay. And so I tell my husband to do the same thing, because if I can't get the call and there's an emergency that happened and they're calling us, we need to know that they're calling us from the school, not like Douglas County Board of Education with a general message. So usually I save that. I save the Douglas County so I know the difference between the two. So I want, I'd advise you to go ahead and start saving those numbers now. So when schools do call, you can differentiate between, is the county calling with general information or is the actual school calling? And usually schools only call when something's serious. They're sick. You want them to they need to be picked up. There's something happening at the school. So you want to be able to differentiate those two numbers. So make sure you're doing that at the beginning of the school year. Thank you guys for joining me. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments. I'm going over my school hacks, but if you have any questions, I will prioritize those. All right, let's get to the next one. Track the bus. So Douglas County Schools does have an app that allows you to track the bus. So if your children are going to be riding the bus, and I'm going to tell you a little bit, how this kind of works. This is how it should work. So you have the app on your phone and it should tell you exactly where the bus is. So you don't have to wait extra time, because sometimes the bus is early, sometimes the bus is late, sometimes it's on time, but the app is supposed to tell you exactly on the route where the bus is. Now, it does not work all the time. I would say that, but it's worth downloading it. So, at least give it a chance. Maybe before they were kind of working out some kinks, but it's a good app to at least start off with. So you have an idea of where they are on the route, especially, I know we have a shortage of bus drivers. So some of the routes may get a little bit longer. So you want to make sure that you know where your child is so you can meet them at the bus or when they got home, that sort of thing. So that's something you can download to know exactly where your child is from school to home. Thank you guys for joining me. If you have any questions about Douglas County Schools, please put it in the comments and I will answer. I'm on hack number 4, and I have some information toward the end too about school scores in the county. All right, so this is a major one. This is number 5. Review the assessments and work collaboratively to get your child on track. Okay, so your child, depending on what grade they're entering, they are going to assess them at probably the first 2 weeks of school. They're going to assess their reading level. They're going to assess their math level. They're going to assess basically primarily their focus on math and reading. And they're going, especially in the elementary and in the middle school, they can kind of use some test scores. Now they have test scores, but they are going to assess that at the very beginning. You need to pay attention to that assessment of your child, because what I think a lot of parents don't realize in education is if I have, as a high school teacher, I may have 120 students. I'm teaching, 5 classes a day or something. It's a lot of classes. But even elementary, I may be teaching 20, 25, maybe 30. I don't know. I have a large class. And what is being asked of the teachers is because when I went to school, Some of the kids that were on level were in one class, the upper level performers were in another class, and the lower level performers were in another class. They separated them out so that teacher didn't have to teach different levels to one classroom. That's what's being asked of teachers now. It's called, and I put it in parentheses, differentiation. They want teachers to differentiate for all of the learners in their classroom. And although I believe teachers try to do this, teachers have a very hard job. Although I believe teachers try to do this, it's not always going to be successful. That's your one child or your children. Maybe you have multiple children, but those are your priorities. So if you know your child is coming in with deficits, and I'm going to talk about, advanced learners as well. But if you know your child is coming in with reading deficits, writing deficits, math deficits, it's up to you to say, what can I be doing at home and collaboratively with the teacher? It could be as easy as workbooks, some extra homework. The school will give you some sites you can focus on. What can I do to make sure my child is on level? Because that teacher is going to do all that they can. But again, they have multiple students. Your child is not their number one priority. You, as a parent, your child is your number one priority. So I really want you as parents, and I put mom hacks because, I know moms sometimes are handling all the different things that are going on sometimes, but you have to pay attention to those scores because, they come home and then, people put them in the trash, they put them aside, but then all school year, your child is below in math. All school year, your child is below in reading, and you had no idea until the end of the school year. So you want to make sure you're aware of that. And then you could make an appointment with the teacher, kind of go over what can I be doing at home? I know they'll tell you what they're going to be doing in school. What can I be doing at home to get my child where they need to be? Now, if you're finding that your child is performing above level, your child, when they do the assessments or you have some testing, your child is performing above level. Now, one, they can get tested for the gifted program, and all schools have that, but also they should be differentiating your child's instruction in that classroom. So you want to, again, meet with that teacher and say, look, my child has performed this. My child knows this. You guys are working on this. How can we differentiate in the classroom my child's instruction so she is not, or she or he, they are not bored and they are challenged every single day? These are conversations you want to have as early as possible. So this is something that I don't think a lot of parents do. When I was a teacher, a lot of parents didn't know their child was failing and their child wasn't on level until, testing may happen in May or testing may happen earlier. Remember, your child is assessed at the very beginning, and you can go, if they were tested like standardized tests last year, you can go off of that. You can go over the assessments, but you need to know for yourself where your child is. All right, I'm going to make sure I don't have any comments or questions in the chat. Okay, so let me move on from that. But if you have any questions about what I said and how Douglas County assesses students, let me know. All right. So this is a hack. This is hack number 6, school lunch and ASP accounts. Okay. So we all know what school lunch is. Last year, school lunch was free. I guess because of COVID and that sort of thing, nobody was charged. Whether you qualified for free and reduced lunch or whether you didn't, everybody was free lunch. There's no free lunch this year. And what I always did in the past, my children typically brought their lunch, but there's always going to be a time that you may forget it or they may forget it. So I would put money like $20, $25, like each semester on their account. So I would know, okay, well, if I forgot it, they forgot it. I don't have to run back to the school. I don't have to do anything special. They can use the money that's on their account. And the same thing for ASP, which is the after school program. I really recommend that you put some money there as well, especially with Georgia traffic. So if you're not going to be able to pick your child up at the normal time, and this is for elementary parents, the ASP, but if you know you're not going to be able to pick your child up on time, then you may just want to put some money, like register, because what happens is if you don't register for the after school program, it's hard to add them later. So you want to go ahead and register up front, even if they don't plan on going all the time, and then just put some money on their account so you could just call the school and let them know that they're going to have to stay a little bit later. I'm not going to get there in time, that sort of thing. And it really can help you out by just having that flexibility as a parent. Okay, any questions? Thank you again for joining me for Douglas County Mom Hacks. I'm going to go here. Let me see. Okay, I'm on number 6. I'm going to go number 7. Carpool line. So, especially if you're new, and a lot of this stuff could be like you're new to the county or you're not, you've been in for a while. Every school is a little bit different, but that generally speaking in Douglas County, those carpool lines are long. It could be at high school, it's at elementary school, it's at middle school. There are a lot of parents that pick up their child from school. So you want to make sure that you kind of get a feel for your carpool, how much of the carpool you can take. I don't like sitting there for like 20 minutes. I like getting there when the line is moving. So that's what I typically do. But I know some parents, they'll get there, 30 minutes earlier and just sit in their car for 30 minutes. But you want to make sure you're kind of getting a feel for your child's school and what, how early are parents getting there? When does the line start actually moving? When do they, have the kids outside waiting? That sort of thing. You want to know how that all works. All right. Number 8. And again, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. Okay, number 8, Infinite Campus. So Infinite Campus, and I'm putting different words because some people call it parent portal, some people call it student portal, because your student can have their own account to this as well. So you have a parent account and a student account. All right, so you want to sign up for Infinite Campus as early as possible. This, I'm pretty sure they changed this recently. It starts in the first grade. So you'll be able to access your child's grades starting at first grade online. So you want to be able to make sure you have access to this information. So when you get on, so when you're looking at their grades and having discussions with them and know how they are performing and progressing, that you can access this. If you're not that good with technology, most of the schools have parent technology training nights. Well, they will help you. You can bring your phone, you can bring your laptop, and they will help you access these apps. They'll have you access these accounts, because a lot of times, and this is kind of a teacher hack, a lot of parents, they'll be on Infinite Campus and they'll see maybe your child got a 0 on something. And typically that means they didn't get a 0. They probably didn't do the assignment, right? Or they get a low grade. And the first thing they do is call the teacher or email the teacher. The first thing you should do is talk to your child about that grade. So then at least you're coming with a point of information about what happened. Did your child just not turn it in? Was it a low grade? What did the performance? They might have the paper already back so they can discuss it with you, but don't always just go straight to the teacher. Talk to your child first, so you have a better idea of why they were graded like that or why they got the 0 in the first place. But this is something you want to sign. You can actually sign up for it now if your children already in if they've already been in the school system. You should be able to sign up and see it now. Their test scores are on there. Their school schedule is on there for the next school year. So you can go ahead and get on that app right now. You can access it from your phone and you can access it from your desktop. All right, number 9, I'm almost finished with my 10. And I'm going to go over school ratings for this year. Teacher appreciation. So this is something that I don't want you as parents to ever overlook, because it really means a lot to teachers to show that you are appreciative of them and their work and what they're doing for not only your child, but all of the students in their classroom. So if you want to plan now for the year, go ahead and know that you're going to do some kind of appreciation at the end of first semester, at the end of the year. Now, it doesn't have to be a Christmas present if you don't celebrate or anything like that, but kind of just like a token of appreciation for the end of the first semester. And I know this could get a little bit expensive in high school or whatever, but even if it's just like a note of appreciation, that's free. And then in May is the traditional teacher appreciation. I would highly recommend that you do this for your children's teachers in December and May, just to show them that you appreciate them. And then it helps you at least maintain a better relationship, because they don't get appreciation from a lot of their parents. So they will remember you when it's time for you to like have conferences and that sort of thing. They will definitely remember you. Number 10, and then I'm going to get into the bonuses. So moms, I put grade specific group text. All right. So there is you want to make sure that you're not just on your own in the school. Like, and it doesn't have to be a mom, it could just be parent text, but you want at least two other parents that are in the same grade as your child to hopefully be on a group text with you. And if you're new to the county, you don't know many people, sometimes you just have to reach out and say, hey, our kids are in the same class. Do you mind if, we exchange phone numbers? So if anything's happening, because a lot of times we're so busy that we may miss some of the things that are going on at school. And I know with my mom group text, I've called them about, the special weeks when they have to dress up. What are they supposed to dress up like? What's happening today? What, anything that you need, whether your child is in elementary or high school, you want to have some, a group text with some of those parents so you know exactly what's going on at the school, just in case you miss anything. It's just a good way another way to build community. And then if you don't know anybody, join the PTA, join the PTSO, get involved. And that's another way that you could meet people. And I always recommend to students that they join at least two things. One, academic at their school on every level, starting in elementary school. One is academic, so some kind of academic club. And another one is some kind of athletic club. We have road runners in elementary school, like running clubs. We have so many opportunities. All the high schools have clubs in every area. They have athletics in every area. And that's a way for your child not to be, because a lot of children now feel so isolated and alone, after COVID. You want to, at least recommend that they reach out to other people and are in a community, even at their school, and they don't feel isolated. All right. So my bonuses. So in the chat, I put two things. I just said hi. That's one thing. But school scores are out as of June 22nd. So if you're wondering either the school that you are going to, or if you're wondering about the school that you're currently going to, if you're a new parent to the county, the school scores are out. They are saying that, I'm trying to share it with you. Let me see if I can share it. Share screen. Okay. Hopefully I can share it with you. Couple of things. Hopefully you see this, but these are the state scores. It'll have state, system, and school summaries. So you can see exactly how your child's school performed, either the school, and this is their most recent, because there was no testing in 2020. There was no testing in 2021. So then this is the testing that was 2022. So if you want to have an idea of what they're doing as far as academics at that school, you can look there. Also, you can, if you want to know exactly what your child is learning at each level, if you go to the Board of Education, and I'll put this in the comments as well, you can see exactly what the curriculum. So you know what they're supposed to know at each grade level. And again, if you want to move them forward, move them to the next grade, start going over things at a higher level if your child is ready for that next level. And then I didn't show you Here Comes the Bus. So this is the Here Comes the Bus. This is the app. I will put this in the comments as well for this video. But these are all of the things that I think you need to do in order to kind of prepare for the new school year. These are things that I've done. My children perform well in most areas. And they don't go to like the best schools in the county. But they perform at the level of the best schools in the county. So you really have to make sure that you are doing what you need to do at home as a parent, and then really collaboratively working with that school. Is there any other questions? And again, I really want to, I didn't talk about other things. School choice. So school choice is state law. So it's not Douglas County specific, but they only have the portal open for you to want to transfer to a school one time per year. This year, 2022, it was in April. So it was really late in the year that they had it out. I have a video on how it works on this channel. It says Douglas County School Choice. So if you want to, or you want to be in the mix to change schools, then you probably need to make sure you are paying attention to that calendar. for school choice. Now, there could be some kind of, circumstances where they'll take you out of school, but you want to contact that school to find out how that all works. But the general way you go to another school in your county that's not your home school is through school choice, which is a state law. And then we have Brighton Academy, which is our charter school. And Brighton Academy, generally speaking, they do registration in February of each year. So if you're interested in going to the charter school, we only have one. There is one more possibly coming to Douglasville, but not this school year, probably next school year, a charter school. So if you're looking for a charter school option, that's your only option right now is Brighton Academy. And then we have some private school options. I know some people go to Chapel Hill Christian Academy. Some people go to Airway. I hope I'm saying that right. It's close to downtown Douglasville. And then I don't want to forget it. There's a really big school. I can't think of it right now, but there's a really big charter school. Private school. I will put that in the link as well. If you're looking for private school options for your child. I'm still here. Does anybody have any questions? I know I have a few people joining me. Does anybody have any questions about the school year? What's going to go on? Any questions about Douglas County schools at all? I will be happy to answer them. All right, let me go back to the comments just in case. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this. Again, if you have any, I think some more people are coming on. If you have any questions about schools or the school system or anything that you need to kind of get ready for the school year, you can put it in the comments right now. Or if you come back to this video and you want to ask a question, I usually check my comments pretty often, so you can ask them there. But does anybody have any questions before I sign off? All righty. So please review my Douglas County Mom Hacks. School starts August 3rd. All open houses are Monday, August 1st. Have a great, safe school year.